Okay, so welcome back to looking at using GarageBand. Really, it's looking at how to use DAW in general. DAW stands for Digital Audio Workstation, FYI. So last time around, we looked at how to use the drummer function and how to add a bass line there and use the MIDI instruments. Now we're going to have a quick look at the audio functions and how to basically mix and master our composition so we can export it as an MP3. So here in GarageBand, we're going to go track, new track, and we're going to select mic or line audio. You're going to click I want to hear my instrument as I play and record, and input one's fine. And we're going to create that. Sorry, I've just had to mute the track there because I didn't actually want to select monitoring, so I'm just going to take monitoring off down here and unmute the track, and there it is. You can see it's picking up my voice. Now, I don't actually want to record my voice today. No one needs to go through the pain of that, but say I did, I can set my record level, I can set my input source and play about with the compressor here. But what we're going to do is look at the loop library function. So here you have your loop library. You can select by instrument, genre, or descriptors. I am going to go by genre. Now let me go back one. Actually, it's an instrument. No, genre, there we go. Here we have scale, and I want this to be in a minor key because the bass line I've recorded in and my track is in A minor. So I want things that are only in a minor key. We're doing sort of a dance music sort of thing, so we could hit electronic here. And then you get these loops up. So here we have an 8-bar abstract atmosphere. If I double click on that, sorry, single click on that, we get that sound. Let's see what else we've got. If we've got anything else, I haven't actually downloaded the sound pack, but you're free to. Here we go. Now that's 16 beats, and I want something that's only 8. So let's just have a cycle through and see if we've got anything that's 8. Nope, they're all too long. I suspect nope, nothing. So we're going to go back to the top, and we're going to go to this abstract atmosphere. Now, suppose I wasn't in A minor and I didn't want this to be in A minor, I could change my key here, but for today, we're just going to keep it in A minor. We're going to go back to abstract atmosphere here, and we're going to drag it in here, and there we have it. Now, it only lasts for 8 bars. And as you can see, sorry, 8 beats, sorry, not 8 bars, and that's for 8 beats, and we need it to go all the way to the end. Now, you might be tempted to use this loop function and drag it along, but that can cause you problems later in the process. So what we're going to do instead is select it, press Command C, move our playhead to where it finishes, and press Command V, Command V, Command V, and now it fills up underneath our loop. And all we're going to do then is select it all and press Command J to join it all together, and we've got this 8-bar section here. That's nice. We can just, if we wanted to, we could select all that, press Command C and paste it in there to give us some more bars, but we don't need that for today. And let's just have a quick listen to that. Okay, so that sounds quite nice. Now, this is all we need for our tracks. We've got a drummer track, a MIDI track, and an audio track, so we know how to use those functions. A couple of things down here. Say I just wanted to listen to my drums. I have this solo function here. Oh, actually, I should have checked something before I started this. Firstly, let's just have a look in settings and make sure my output device is selected telescreen audio, which is what I actually want, but you do have other options there. So if you've not got any sound, might be you're at the wrong audio device. So you go to settings and make sure you're on the right audio device. Next up, if you've not got any sound, it might be that instead of pressing solo, you press mute, which turns the tracks off. And if you've accidentally muted everything, you get no sound apart from the click. I'm going to take the click off now for when we mix it down, because I don't want the click in my mix down. So you have mute. I can unmute the drums and get just drums. Say I wanted to listen to the drums and bass together, I could leave the abstract atmosphere muted and here we go. So we have mute and we have solo. So I can solo it and just listen to the abstract atmosphere. So you've got those functions. But now we need to look at mixing and mastering. So mixing and mastering is basically the process of making sure when you export this to disk, it's not doing something called clipping. So if I turn everything all the way up, these are my volume controls, and I press play, and we look at this thing here, a master, you can see the masters going into red here. Just having a look at the top here, and you can see the red. This is going to cause us problems in our mixdown. It's going to make our mixdown sound bad and distorted. So first thing we have to do is mix our volume levels. So the way to do this is set everything to 0, and then you're going to bring the instruments in one by one, keeping an eye on here and making sure you've not got any red and a little bit of yellow. So I start with my drums. If I press play, it's on loop, so it'll just keep on looping. So I can hear all my drums clearly. Now I'm going to add the bass on top. And then I'm going to add the atmosphere. I can hear all three clearly, so that's fine. Next up, I'm going to create some space in my mix. So I've got these pan functions here, and currently everything is panned right down the middle, which isn't what you want because that'll make your sound muddy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave my drums in the middle. I'm going to push my bass out to the right, so the bass should move more dominant in your right headphone or your right speaker, and the atmosphere out to the left, and that's going to be more dominant in the left side, and it just creates some space in our mix. Normally you wouldn't really pan the bass out, but for this we can do it, it's not a problem. Now if you've got headphones on or it's in your speakers, you should hear the bass clearer in the right and the abstract atmosphere, clearer in the left. Now that's caused the bass sound to die out a little, so I'm just going to turn the bass back up so it's a bit clearer in the mix. And that sounds okay. I'm going to close down my loop library. Next up, we have to add what we call some EQ. EQ is basically giving things its own space in what we call the stereo field, just to make it sound more balanced and less muddy and giving everything space. So we hit our control button here. Now you have track and you have master. We want track and we want EQ. And then GarageBand has all these presets in it that we're going to use. They're fine, they're absolutely fine to use. Not always perfect, but for this demonstration they're fine. So first up we're doing our drums. So we're going to look at the drum EQs, and we're just going to turn these into hi-fi drum EQ. And you can see now on here, on our EQ, we've cut some low end, we've boosted it a little bit here, cut, and then boosted at the top end to make the hi-hats pop out. Then we're going to go to our bass, same thing again, EQ. In our presets, we're actually going to go to guitar. You could go keyboard, or you could go guitar. I'm going to go guitar for this, it's a bass, and I'm going to put this E bass EQ on. You can see, boosted up the low end, boosted down here, in our higher mids, and then cut all the top end off to give space for our hi-hats to come through. Then abstract atmosphere, EQ, we're going to go to keyboards, and we are just going to do those as, let's go for synth brighten, and again you can see the cut and the boost up the top end here, and now if you play that back, everything should sound a little clearer. Next up, we're going to go from the track to the master. So master is all three things together, and all we're going to throw on here as an EQ is we're going to bring this down to mastering, and we're going to put on a dance music type EQ. and that's EQ'd everything for us. Again, just making everything sound a little clearer. Next up, we want to have a look at our output for all these tracks. So our channel EQ is already on. The next thing we're going to add is some compressor. Compressor basically makes your quiet sounds louder and your loud sounds quieter, which actually allows us to get some more volume in the track. I'm going to hit here to bring this up. Again, there's a bunch of presets. We're going to go for compressor tools, and we are going to throw on a platinum and on tape, just because that's my go-to one that I like to use. You can see it's changing all these settings here, and it should just make everything stand out and a little louder. Now, that's giving us a problem because we're getting red in our right channel. So what I'm going to do is our bass in our right channel. So let's just see if dropping the bass down a little bit pulls that red out. Okay, so we've not got any red anymore, so we've got rid of the bass. I could have also done that by playing with the gain. So if you see here, if I boost the gain all the way up to 50 dB, it's a little louder. If I drop the gain down to -20, it's a little quieter. I'm just going to put that to where it was, which was plus 1.5 dB. And there we have it. We have our compressor on now. Now, the one thing you might want to add here, I don't really need to, but I just want to show you how it works is, let's just turn our compressor on. Compressor wasn't on, so now I'm getting a lot of red up here. So I need to bring my gain down. Let's try that at 0 dB. Still getting a little bit of red, so let's go to -2 dB. Still getting some red on that bass, so let's try that -4. There you go. No red now, so you can use this gain function to bring out the red. One other thing you might want to add if your track seems particularly quiet is if you were to go here and add gain. So gain, you can add or subtract volume. So again, if I boost that to +24, it's going to distort. You can hear the distortion there, so that's no good. Mine's probably okay on 0 because I use the compressor well, but let's just see what it's like on +1. Let's see if that gives us any red. Oh, it gives a little bit of red there. Let's see if we can do -3. It's not quite doing what I want it to. You can do it this way as well. Here you can press here as well. Let's just try +5. A little bit of red. +4. I think this is going to have to stay at 0 to be honest, but let's try. +2. Okay. +2 is keeping this right track right on threshold. So again, gain you can use to add or take away volume if you need to get some more control up here. So that is basically my track now done. We've had a look at all the functions we need to be able to create drums, to be able to create MIDI sounds, and to add some audio loops in there. And then we've had a look at how to mix and master it down. So the final step we have is, we'll just save what we have, and then we're going to export it as an MP3. So to do that, we go here to share, we go export song to disk. This comes up, you want it as an MP3. I suggest saving to your desktop so it's nice and easy to find, or creating a folder you can save in. And it's called GV Demo. I'm actually going to save that as DAW Demo on my desktop. Yeah, I've got my loop function on, so it'll just export what's in the loop for me. So export cycle area or length of selected regions. If cycle is turned off, I'm going to hit that on. So it's just going to record what's in the loop. So make sure your loop's on. I'm going to hit export. Super quick, super simple. And now if I go to my desktop, so I've got too many things open. On the Rolling Cloud, it should be on my desktop. Here it is, DAW Demo. If I hit space, that'll play through it for us. that would be the file that you'd upload for assessment if you're doing an assessment, that you would upload to Spotify, YouTube, places like that. That is where we do our upload. So now we've got a good understanding of how to use our DAW, which is GarageBand. We've got a good understanding of the basic functionality of GarageBand, so we can go on and start doing some more complicated compositions. So hope you found that helpful. Hope that has aided your understanding of how to use GarageBand and got you started on your music tech and composition journey.